Good evening, everybody. Welcome. I'm Sarah Halpin. I'd like to welcome you on this snowy evening in Augusta. Welcome all of you to Cheers to 43 years, a very well-deserved celebration of Gilda Nardone. So I'm honored to kick off remarks this evening on behalf of New Ventures Maine Advisory Council. I've known Gilda for about a third of her 43 plus years as executive director. And I've seen up close the vision and commitment in which Gilda has skillfully led Women, Work and Community, now New Ventures Maine. And I know that all of us on the Advisory Council, in whatever decade you may have served, have been inspired by Gilda and, quite frankly, in awe of her leadership skills. I've personally learned a lot from you, Gilda, from my time on the Advisory Council. Strategic positioning, developing partnerships, advocating for policy, resource management, resilience, embracing change, innovating and adapting programs and services. Gilda, you embody the overriding importance of believing in what you are doing every day, changing lives for the better, opening doors to possibilities, and meeting the needs of participants where they are, proving that you can get there from here with the help of New Ventures Maine. Yeah. So Gilda, a heartfelt thank you. Your accomplishments are many. You have been a tireless and driving force in creating equity and financial inclusion for so many. You have helped turn hope into reality for thousands of Mainers and have truly changed lives in your work to empower people and to help them to plan and invest in their futures. Your contributions and steadfast service has guided New Ventures Maine to be a cornerstone of economic security programming in our state. And the goals to grow your Legacy Scholarship Fund for adult learners really honors your dedication and commitment and continues your work. We wish you every success as you now set new goals and transition to your what's next. I know that your future will be fulfilling and energizing and inspiring because you have proven you have the power to make it so, to make it happen. And the future is bright for New Ventures Maine, and we thank you. So it's my honor to read a letter from Governor Janet Mills. Dear friends, on behalf of the people of Maine, welcome to New Venture Maine's 43rd anniversary celebration. I would also like to personally congratulate Gilda Nardone on her retirement. Under Gilda's leadership, the organization, first known as the Maine Displaced Homemakers Program, then Women, Work and Community, and now New Ventures Maine, has grown from an employment training program for women suddenly having to return to the workforce to one guiding all Maine people toward economic success for themselves and their families. In addition to serving as executive director for 43 years, Gilda has made a lifetime of contributions by mentoring and championing countless women across our state. Gilda, I wish you the best in your retirement and health and happiness in the years to come. As governor, I am grateful for the critical work being done by New Ventures Maine to address our workforce challenges and create a strong, sustainable, and diverse economy. Your success and the success of your students makes our state a better place for all Maine people to live, work, and raise a family. Cheers to 43 years. So I'd like to invite representatives from our congressional leaders, Ellie Espling from Senator Collins' office and Pam Trinward from Representative Pingree's office.
Thank you so much. I just want to read a letter from Senator Collins. Dear Gilda, congratulations on your retirement after 43 years serving at the helm of New Ventures Maine. Since 1978, Mainers from all walks of life have benefited from your leadership and service at New Ventures Maine. Thanks to your hard work and vision, New Ventures has been recognized nationally and internationally, and you should be very proud of your accomplishments. Again, congratulations on your well-deserved retirement and best wishes for health and happiness. Sincerely, Susan Collins.
Good evening, everyone. It's very nice to be here with Gilda. She's been a wonderful leader in the state, and I've enjoyed watching her success. I have a letter from the Congresswoman. Dear Gilda, I am so pleased to extend my heartfelt thanks and best wishes as you retire from Venture Maine after so many years of service to the people of the state. In 1978, at a time where women were moving into the workforce in record numbers by choice or by necessity, the Displaced Homemakers program was a lifeline. Over the years, because of your leadership, vision, and effective collaboration, you grew this program into what is now New Ventures Maine, adding sites and services, expanding your target audience population, and impacting so many lives. And it still remains a lifeline. Your commitment to Maine has been unswerving. Further, your accomplishments have been both impressive and widely recognized, as evidenced by the scholarship in your name and the many awards and honors, not the least of which is your membership into the Maine Women's Hall of Fame. But knowing you, I can imagine that in looking back over your successful career, what is the most important and satisfying to you now is the knowledge and the dreams that you have helped nurture and the lives that you have lifted up. Again, many thanks for the 43 years of leadership and hard work that has helped many Mainers envision and then craft lives and careers that matters. My very best wishes to you as you embark on your own well-earned next chapter. Sincerely, Chellie Pingree, Member of Congress.
Good evening. My name is John Henry. I'm the Vice President for Enrollment Management and Marketing at the University of Maine at Augusta. And Gilda and her team are in the Division of Enrollment Management. And it is just a privilege to represent the university tonight. The president is in Boston, Joseph Zakis. He's with the team visiting the accreditation agency. You might have heard a thing or two about unified accreditation at the university system. They have lots to talk about. So I'm delighted to be here, though, because I would have wanted to come anyway. It is a privilege to think that you have been doing one institution, one organization for 43 years. I was in 10th grade when you started your career. I wasn't going to say that, but I had to say it, because I was thinking, she's probably driving, listening to an 8-track tape in her car. I was listening to Electric Light Orchestra. Maybe you were too. And how much water has gone under that bridge in those 43 years. Your journey was only beginning, and you could hardly imagine where it was going to go. That leadership is so rare to find in today's workforce, someone with a passion and dedication for more than 4 decades, an entire professional career, changing lives. I wanted to think about tonight and not follow the giants that just came before me, but rather look at the mission of the organization. And let me just read it. helping Maine people succeed in the changing economy and achieving economic security for themselves and their families. New Ventures Maine offers tools for you to take the next step. You can, we help. I think that is extremely powerful. And Gilda, you have helped those people find their you can. More importantly, you created the we help over those 43 years. I also think about Amanda Gorman's poem read at President Biden's inauguration, which I think encapsulates the role that you have taken in your leadership work. And I read from her poem. There is always light, if we're only brave enough to see it, if only we are brave enough to be it. Gilda, you are and have been that light and helped thousands bravely find their own light to build or rebuild their lives. So it only seems appropriate that your retirement gift is a lamp. Not this lamp right here. Nothing passes. She saw me bring it in. I did bring it in, so you have to take it to your car. I'm not assembling it. But they asked me, our HR director said, we're not going to mail it to her. Are you going to go? Should we deliver it to her? And I said, absolutely. And then it triggered how to speak about your incredible impact, to see what you have done with your team. And I really look forward to working with Janet and passing that legacy and that torch to her. And congratulations on just such an amazing, incredible commitment to changing people's lives in Maine.
Oh boy.
Yeah, wait a minute.
So, I could stand up here for a long time and tell some really good stories, but I've been told I only have 3 to 5 minutes. So I'll stick to my script as best I can. Some of you know this, but Gilda and I met 43 years ago at a class at USM, I think still called POGO back then, counseling women and girls over the lifespan. Little did we know, as Gilda put it, that this would be the beginning of our life's work together, advocating for the economic security for women and girls. And indeed, it has been the journey that has brought meaning to my life and has changed the lives, as has been mentioned, for the better of countless women and their families throughout Maine. I can hardly imagine my life without you, Gilda, or Displaced Homemakers Program, now New Ventures Maine. And I know that Maine would be poorer without the organization that you have made. I used to tell people that I spent more time as Gilda's partner than I did with either of my 2 husbands. I think that's still true. From the beginning, Gilda has led New Ventures Maine with what she referred to as roots and wings when she made her comments while accepting the Deborah Norton Award several years ago. So I'm going to pick up on that theme, Gilda, and talk about your leadership, because it's grounded in your own story. Growing up in the county, losing your father at a tender age. It's also grounded in the real life of women in Maine and throughout the world. It's grounded in a sense of drawing strength and nourishment from the environment, the soil, the communities that we all live and grow in. But her leadership is also visionary and mission-driven. She has a sense of purpose and can see what is possible. You'll hear some similarities here. She can identify goals and imagine a path to get there. She can recognize opportunity. Have I got an opportunity for you? See, is a phrase that many on our staff came to expect with no small amount of trepidation. It meant, when we heard Gilda say that we would be asked to push our growing edges. That slightly uncomfortable place where learning, where expansion takes place. My first big opportunity came when Gilda called to say that there was a chance that we could apply for an SBA, a Small Business Administration's Women's Business Owners Grant. I knew next to nothing about starting a business, but I thought I knew a few things about women's career development by that time. And since it was being presented to me as an opportunity, I agreed that of course we should give it a try. And well, we got the grant, and in some ways the rest is history. And also the present, in the name of the organization, New Ventures Maine. That was my first foray into entrepreneurship. But I want to just pause for a minute, a little off script here, to say that Gilda really is the entrepreneur that sparked all of us to move in this direction. And I'll share with you my favorite definition. Some of you here know this definition of what an entrepreneur is. It's someone who has an idea about how to do something better, is willing to work hard and take risks to bring that idea to fruition. And Gilda, that's what you have done. That's what you have taught so many of the rest of us to do. And I am so grateful. So finally, I'll just say that Gilda's leadership over these 43 years has been, as I said, both grounded and inspired by her ability to trust, her optimism, feminist values of inclusion, equity, diversity, connection. And by her example, by your example, Gilda, your years of practicing shared leadership, team building, and empowerment, you have developed an organization that has its own roots and wings and is strongly positioned to continue your legacy way into the future. I'll just stop there. But switching roles, I have here a sentiment from the legislature that I will read and then present to you. It's a very pretty one. Oops. I love reading these. Be it known to all that we, the members of the Senate and the House of Representatives, join in recognizing Gilda E. Nardone of Brunswick on her retirement after 43 years of service as Executive Director of New Ventures Maine, which she helped to co-found in 1978 after the legislature established it as the Displaced Homemakers Program. Ms. Nardone has been recognized as a leader in Maine and nationally for helping individuals, especially women, start their own businesses, build successful careers, and gain leadership and financial skills in order to live happy, healthy lives. We extend our appreciation and best wishes, and be it ordered that this official expression of sentiment be sent forthwith on behalf of the 130th Legislature and the people of the state of Maine, signed by Senate President Troy Jackson, and various other members of the House, including Speaker Ryan Fecteau.
Well, Barbara and I are honored to be a part of tonight's festivities, where we will recognize Gilda's monumental role in supporting the economic and psychological lives of women in Maine. And thank you for asking us. Gilda, actually, who is about to get this award, epitomizes the board. She is recognized for building New Ventures Maine into a powerful economic force for women. Once the Displaced Homemaker Program, and then Women, Work, and Community, and now New Ventures Maine, originally for women, now includes men. This extraordinary woman, Gilda, is proven a charismatic leader. She's smart, wise, flexible, and courageous. She guided the fledgling Displaced Homemaker Program through many changes. Just to remind you, a little off script, that the legislature, in its wisdom, gave the Displaced Homemaker Program $15,000 to run. Basically, it was $10,000 by the time they got through with us. And she guided this through many changes, political transitions, shifting financial variabilities, but her mission was sound. Her vision was clear. Her focus was constant. She designed the plan. She executed the plan. And not many people can do both. Gilda was a gift to Maine that kept on giving. Excuse me. For 43 years, her program helped empower women. She gave them hope, inspiration, and self-respect. She also provided the skills needed to function successfully in the technically dominated world. Gilda, it's Gilda, combined remarkable talent and humility at the same time in one package. She knew what was needed and wisely chose the people for her staff who could make it happen. Gilda honors us tonight by joining us in this award. We admire you, we love you, and you'll be around, so we won't miss you. And it was, this is our child, you know, the two of us, which is really wonderful. Our sponsors, together. Together, we started it, but you made it happen. Thank you.
It's such a pleasure to be here tonight with Merle, you know, my dear friend from many years ago. Oh, your mask. and with Gilda, and of course with all of you. We're the original threesome from 43 years ago. And, you know, tonight we're presenting the Making a Difference Award, and I think Merle has very ably described why Gilda is, see, there you've got me going. Why Gilda is just the perfect match. When I think back over the last 4 decades, I pause on 3 points. Examples of what I like to call Gilda's miracles, where she not only believed in the impossible, to quote the White Queen, but she did the impossible with grace, good humor, that wonderful laugh, skill, and in partnership with her staff, her clients, and her supporters. Miracle number one was just creating the program. She had one little piece of paper from the legislature, no directions. It was a tabula rasa, and she had even fewer dollars. And yet she went forward and created the Displaced Homemaker program. And under her leadership, it thrived, and it taught hundreds and hundreds of women how to construct a resume, how to go through an interview, and how to match their skills with a perfect job. Miracle number two occurred 16 years later with a major transition to the Maine Center for Women, Work, and Community, this time with a focus on statewide services and advocacy for the economic interests of women at the state and the national levels. 21 years later, Gilda led the organization through yet another miraculous transformation into New Ventures Maine, with expanded services to all Mainers, new financial literacy courses, workshops, and a focus on entrepreneurship and the trades. How does one accomplish such feats? Well, to quote a woman that we all know and love, Gilda, by being patient and listening to guiding voices. Well, Gilda, despite documentation of 3 miracles, we won't move to sainthood just yet, because I know you will find many more ways in the future to make a difference. A Taoist saying notes that no one can see her reflection in running water, only in still waters. And so I hope that with your retirement from New Ventures, you can pause and see the reflection of your incredible and immense legacy of service to all Mainers. Thank you, Gilda.
First, I want to, wait a minute, the bill's passed, it's done, it's gone, is it going to the president? Has he signed it? It's signed. Gilda, sorry, you can't retire. Federal law says you can't quit on us. No, obviously I'm just kidding. But Gilda, it's impossible to express what you've meant to Maine people for 43 years. Going back to the very beginning of Displaced Homemakers in 1978, and the work that you've done for thousands of people in Maine has made such a huge difference. And there's just nobody more deserving of the Merle Nelson Award, perhaps than Merle Nelson, than yourself. Merle started the program. I'm proud that a good friend of mine named Mary Herman is one of the recipients of the award, and that you are now receiving this award as a capstone to an extraordinary career with imagination, intelligence, dedication, perseverance, and compassion. Gilda, you've made such a difference for Maine. It's an honor for me to congratulate you, and mostly to thank you on behalf of all the people of Maine, and especially those thousands whose lives have been changed by the work that you've done. Thanks and congratulations.
Well, 43 years, what a journey it's been. I'm so honored to have had so many of you walking this path with me and sharing this celebration tonight. I feel very blessed to have had the opportunity to help advance women's economic security over these decades. There will be some familiar themes here. You know, as Eloise already said, when she and I met in a Counseling Women and Girls Across a Lifespan class in 1978, I don't think we understood that this would become our life's work and that we would experience that lifespan together and with many of you. I'm delighted that, I'm going to cry, but anyway, delighted that my older son Josh and his wife Jackie are here tonight, and my partner Kathy as well to celebrate. They see me in my less brilliant times. The constant has been change, and my own and each of your personal stories, life experiences, the herstory of our organization, our partnerships with many of you, and the broader economic, social, political, and cultural change of women in Maine, the nation, and around the world. I know we have collectively made a difference in expanding the roles and opportunities for women and girls in education, the workplace, as small business owners, and community leaders. But the pandemic and political climate has shown us how fragile some of these gains are for women in their roles as caregivers, that we are still needing to fight for women's reproductive justice, that climate change is impacting the Gulf of Maine and our natural resources, and the inequities of systemic racism that BIPOC people face every day. I'm proud of the work that our organization continues to advance in expanding education and career opportunities, supporting successful small businesses, and helping individuals and families build economic security. As I transition to retirement, I know that our organization is in the skilled hands of my successor, Janet Smith, and the rest of our staff, advisory council members, strategic partners, and program graduates. Although my role will change, I remain committed to mentoring and supporting the next generation of women and girls and men and boys who will carry this work forward. I have been so inspired by the youth engaged in the intergenerational climate change cohort that I and other elders have been involved with, and in the equity, diversity, and inclusion work that is happening here in Maine. Long time coming, glad that it's starting to move forward. Although we are celebrating my life's work tonight, no one accomplishes equity and justice alone. My heartfelt gratitude to each of you who have shared your courageous life journeys with me. Cheers to the next 43 years and a new generation of leaders for our organization, our communities, and the state of Maine. I want to give a special thank you to the Augusta team who helped coordinate, particularly Jen, but all of them, including Emily, who helped bring this event together. You know, we couldn't control the weather, we tried, but so grateful that all of you are here to celebrate with us. And now I want to introduce New Ventures Maine's new leader, Janet Smith, and you'll hear from her, and then Janet and I will come back together at the end of that process.
Oh, so that's a lot, a lot to follow. And, you know, as you've heard, as Gilda leaves New Ventures Maine, we have a tremendous legacy to build on. New Ventures Maine's mission of economic security for Maine people and families is as relevant today, in today's economic environment, as it has been over the past 43 years. New Ventures Maine will continue to meet people where they are and provide education, tools, confidence, and access to resources to help them succeed, whatever success means to them. Moreover, we will continue to reach out to those populations that have faced systematic barriers to their economic security and work with them to find solutions to what is getting in the way of their success. We will continue our work in the 3 program areas that are well established in New Ventures Maine, helping people start businesses, find careers, and manage money and build assets. For some, that may mean participating in one program, and for others, where they start may not be where they finish. They may start looking for help paying bills and saving to reach financial goals and decide they want a better job or start a business to increase their income. I'm excited to lead this group of staff and receive guidance from this advisory council, all of whom have shown their commitment to the values, mission, and vision of New Ventures Maine, and working with them through my transition to ED together. I look forward to continuing to collaborate and build on long-standing partnerships and making new connections. New Ventures Maine is a strong organization that has a continued opportunity to make an impact for Maine individuals and families, especially for disadvantaged populations. I am excited about increasing our focus on results and data. We have already begun to look at some of our it's an inside joke there. People hear a lot about results and data from me. We have already begun the process of looking at our structures from the perspective of the transition of Gilda and my own, but also from the changes caused by the pandemic. Thank you, Gilda, for all you've done for Maine women and their families, and for me personally, to support my growth and leadership in my career.
John, you're going to be... Stand tight, John. Janet and I were touched by the gifts of native blankets that our colleagues Susan and Charlene at Four Directions gave each other to honor their new leadership roles, and thought about what might work and might be a way for us to honor each other within our own cultures. We did think about quilts, but I think we thought, well, maybe we don't have quite enough time to pull that off. But Janet so Janet asked me to present a gift to her that inspires her. So Janet, what inspires me are the courageous women who've gone before and upon whose shoulders I stand, and the courageous young women coming into their own voices in leadership. So I've selected 2 poet laureates and their presidential inauguration poems, Maya Angelou's On the Pulse of Morning, whom I got to hear present at President Clinton's inauguration, and Amanda Gorman's The Hill We Climb, presented at President Biden's inauguration. And again, to quote Amanda, "For there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it." So Maya's coming later. She didn't arrive yet.
So I too asked Gilda what she would like to receive, and she, given her transition, suggested that I share with her something that helps me to be and stay grounded and renewed in body, mind, and spirit. And knowing that we both share a love of the outdoors and nature, one thing is wind chimes. And I found these lovely wind chimes that are tuned to the pentatonic scale. That's 5 notes. I have a musician son, and it plays beautiful random melodies every time the wind blows. This particular wind chime also has a piece of agate that hangs from the center of the wind chime, and the sliced parts to reveal the translucent beauty. Each piece of agate is unique. May the music of the chimes combined with the ancient earth energy bring harmony and balance to your life.
I
for gardening. Gilda always has a calendar, and I thought, she doesn't need a meeting calendar, an appointment calendar anymore. She needs a gardening calendar. So, thank you, Jan.
I thought of wind chimes for you too.
Thank you.
So you've heard a whole lot about Gilda's awesomeness in the context of her work in Maine, which is, we could keep talking for days. But I get to spend a little minute talking about her awesomeness on the national stage, which is most of how I have known Gilda for the last a lot of years. My first introduction to Gilda was through her work when in the mid-'80s, when she was serving as a regional leader in not one but two national organizations at the same time. She was a regional leader for Wider Opportunities for Women, or WOW, and at the same time she was also serving as a regional leader for the National Displaced Homemakers Network. And I don't have any idea, first of all, how she did that, because she was also running this organization, but, you know, I don't know. There's 24 hours in the day, and she uses them all, I guess. But what struck me then, and has been true throughout her career, is that she knew that the work of women's economic security was bigger than one program or one state, and she acted on that vision from the beginning. Her leadership role in the National Displaced Homemakers Network was sort of where she found her national home, and that just kept growing. I'll skip the long resume, but ultimately she was elected president of that organization in 1991, and she led the organization, there are a lot of repeat themes here, led the organization through some really critical periods of change, including a name change when it became Women Work, the National Network for Women's Employment. And again, that name change, just like the ones that happened here, were a reflection of, certainly of the broader work that the organization had started to take on, but it was also, once again, about a bigger vision. And so, not surprisingly, when Gilda finished her 3 years as, by then, Women Work's national president, she stayed on to lead the organization's strategic planning. Thankfully, since I was working there at the time, I really appreciated that guidance. So while she was doing all of that and running a statewide organization, Gilda was also involved in the Ms. Foundation's Institute for Women's Economic Empowerment, which was focused on bringing together like-minded leaders from around the country, basically to trade strategies and ideas about how to advance women's economic justice issues. And those were some pretty amazing gatherings. I was lucky enough to attend a couple of them. And of course, Gilda had a leadership role in that work as well. And because she always sees connections and builds on them at every opportunity, Gilda also brought that work back to Maine. And she spearheaded the Maine Institute on Women's Economic Security that brought together providers and advocates here in Maine to advance that same basic vision of women's economic justice and security. And later, she convened a group of statewide leaders to develop the Maine Women's Economic Security Agenda, because an institute wasn't big enough. So now we needed an agenda. And basically the idea behind an economic security agenda was an entire legislative platform, not just about employment, not just about the ability to earn a living, although those are certainly critical, but also about all of the other pieces of women's lives that, depending on how policy is or isn't, can determine their ability to actually succeed and thrive. And so Gilda saw that and saw the need for a coherent and complete legislative agenda around all of that. And she, amazingly, but not surprisingly, decided that she would like to herd that batch of cats. And it was a lot of cat herding, but in the end, there was a, I don't remember how many points, legislative agenda that was a guiding force for many years for shaping advocacy around women's economic justice issues. So, again, repeat themes. The through line in all of Gilda's work, vision. And part of that vision has always been about helping others to step into a bigger version of themselves, to uncover and unleash their innate capability, their innate capacity for greatness. So it makes perfect sense that she chose to make the Gilda Nardone Scholarship Fund a key part of her legacy. So, you know, for the recipients, a scholarship is important for 2 reasons. One is really obvious, right? It's a key piece of the financial puzzle that helps someone to pursue their bigger dream. But it's also something greater, something more powerful. It's a signal that we believe in them, that we believe in their bigger vision, and that we're going to hold space for that while they move toward it. And that has incredible power. So let me just indulge me here for a second. Let me tell you about Leanne, one of the recipients of the Gilda Scholarship. Leanne was a struggling single parent and a domestic violence survivor. She knew she wanted to do something. She wanted to become an advocate for other domestic violence survivors, but she wasn't sure how or what might even be possible. So she enrolled at UMA and at the same time jumped into the New Ventures Maine financial education classes and business development classes. And she ran her own small business while she was going to school full time. She was no more of a slacker than Gilda is. And as her confidence grew, in part because of the work she was doing with New Ventures Maine and the support she was receiving there, her goal became law school. And she received, at a critical point in her journey, a $1,000 Gilda scholarship. And the purpose of that was to enable her to participate in a pre-law immersion program that was designed to increase her chances for succeeding and thriving in law school. She graduated UMA with high honors, and she's now enrolled at the Thurgood Marshall School of Law on a full scholarship. Leanne credits the Gilda Scholarship and the staff at New Ventures Maine as key ingredients to helping her realize her big vision. So when each of us gives to the Gilda Nardone Scholarship Fund, which I know many of you have already done, of course we're giving financial resources, which are important. But we're also sending a much more powerful message to those who receive those scholarships. And that's that we believe in their ability to do big things, to cast a big vision for themselves and to step fully into that, to become not only successful in their career or in running a business, but also to be successful as leaders in their communities, to be their own powerful voice for change. And I can't think of a better way to honor Gilda's work and impact than that. So as you think about how you want to honor Gilda, consider how you can help hold space and create possibility for that bigger vision that those aspiring leaders already hold or will come to hold with your help. And think about how you can do that not just today, but for years to come. Imagine the power of the impact you could make with an annual commitment to the scholarship fund. I invite you to pick up a pledge form tonight. I know they're lurking around here somewhere. And commit to an annual gift. Let's keep creating possibility together.
So thank you all for coming. Please feel free to stay, enjoy each other's company, leave Gilda a message, sign the CBAG guest book bag. I don't quite know how to say that. And enjoy the music. Thank you to the band. Thank you. And thank you all for coming.